sure that you see the ROC and the numbers are moving,
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. It's exactly 7 o'clock. Whether it is or not, we'll call it exactly 7 o'clock. We're going to go a little bit out of order relative to the agenda. We have people from Griffin's Dairy wants to talk about, you can step to the table if you want, about funding a requisition for surveying to get that paid. So anyways, Ian sent me an email the other day about they have a couple bills for surveying that they would like paid within the budget, et cetera. So, and I think it helps out the surveyor. So.
Okay, actually, they're not bills, they're proposals. And so we're looking forward to having them done in the spring. That's when the invoices will come.
Okay.
And so we just wanted to be certain that this just goes under the entire project and just goes forward. We just need that understanding that that it would be something that we could present to you folks in the spring.
We have the money in the budget now.
It's in the budget.
And did we have the surveying as a task in the budget?
Not for this
Not
particular.
for 17, it's for 18.
Okay, and what is this, maybe you should tell us about the survey so we know what.
The survey is for resurveying all of the bridge areas, and that means the level of the
Elevation.
ground, the elevation and all of that business, marking it and staking where the two new bridges are going to go, plus staking and marking out and flagging where the new paths are going to go, and flagging and staking exactly where the playing fields are going to go.
So unless you do this, then you can't do any additional work because you're not
Exactly.
certain as to
So if we could
where stuff is going.
do this, then we could mow not only the field, but we could mow the paths so that people that are using the completed paths could continue on the mowed field until we get the money to do the correct paths.
Okay, and so now, can I ask a question about the path from the bridge on? Was that is that in the estimate that we had for this, or is that a phase 2?
That's a phase 2.
So we're doing surveying for phase 2, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
So
Was this included in the budget that you submitted to us?
It was.
Okay, so we still haven't decided.
Right, but
on
you
those
still
projects?
have, you still have money left over from.
They have enough to do it.
It's
Left
not,
in the account. that
yeah,
they
it's
already
not
have
so
this
much that
year.
the money's in the account. What I'm trying to make sure of is that we are only funding things that we
I've already
approved.
voted and approved.
We
The town's already
approved.
approved on it.
Because-
The new
and then-
survey that I understand is because when they got more into it, they realized that if they could get the whole plan, that would make everything
I
go.
understand,
Oh, all right.
I
Okay.
understand,
All
I'm
right.
just trying to make sure I understand what we're doing, because
Yeah.
we're starting to move into their phase 2, which is a proposal
But
on the
I
table
think we
now.
had didn't we have the flexibility in what we're doing to allow stuff like that? Even though so the money they have the money available, which hasn't been used. But I thought we gave people the flexibility, like especially in your case where it's the scope of the thing is.
I don't wanna, I don't wanna misstate this. I think they're allowed to do what we funded. You know, what they said they were gonna do X, Y, and Z steps, and
Yeah.
they're allowed to do X, Y, and Z steps. If there's money left over, it gets turned back to us, and then we approve, doesn't mean we wouldn't give them the money to do whatever's there. Say they wanted to put a carousel out there and they had money to do it. It would be phase 2, it would be another phase. I think the problem, I'm just
You
wanna.
have to do it for everyone.
We have to do it for everyone, and we have to be
Right.
careful what we're doing here, that's all. I understand,
Absolutely.
I understand
Yeah.
what you wanna do, which is survey.
So we can move on.
I mean, surveying the fields to me seems like something that probably was included in it's part of phase one, the fields.
It should have been, but we did not at that time.
They didn't.
They surveyed some, but they didn't survey the
But-
entire property, because they just surveyed the part that they thought they were going to be using.
I understand. But to me, the fields are in phase one. But I think the new path is in phase two. Sorry to be, I don't mean to be painful, but I want to make sure that
In order to do the two fields, so
Yeah.
the path is gonna go like in the middle of.
the
between
new
two
path
fields.
is gonna go between the two fields.
But it is phase two.
It is phase
And
two.
it also includes a path going from the parking lot up to the second bridge.
And
Which is phase two, I believe.
That's also
correct? Yes.
phase two, yes.
So the new path is the one that connects the first bridge to the second bridge,
Yes.
if I remember
It
the
will-
drawing
It
correctly?
will go across
The one
and
that
then
goes
it will
between where the
connect.
nets theoretically would be and then go up to the second bridge.
Exactly, exactly.
So-
And then it will also go to the parking lot over on Patterson Street.
Yeah, so I think it's just more of what we're saying, and I think I'm agreeing with what she said was, we approved phase one was already approved. We understand that there is money left in your budget, i.e. from either things were costing less than we thought they did, or certain things could or could not be done. You know, like we said, you had to do more work on the path than you thought you did, so the bridge is in, but the path is not.
sorry.
It's all right. So I think it's just more of, I don't think we have the ability to approve you doing phase two work with phase one's budget, is what we're saying, because we haven't approved. Because we haven't approved any projects yet, so I don't wanna tell you that you can get it, cause that's almost us saying you're guaranteed to get phase two approved, because then that's unfair to the other projects.
Okay, no, I think what we're asking is, would it be possible for us to use the money that we have left over in the FY '17 to use this going forward so that,
But you want to use it in the.
We want to use what we have left over now.
You want to use it in the
for
spring
that.
though,
So I
right?
think we
So that we can,
can't
in
make
the summer,
that,
we can move forward on getting the path started.
Yeah, so
Because that was a problem this year, we had to wait so long.
Was the,
in
were
fall.
the plans you discussed with us, were they so specific that, that didn't give you flexibility to do that? In other words, were they all line items with specific tasks, or did you have
We
like?
just had surveying.
Just
We had,
general.
we had surveying, but we
Was
had
this
itemized the
survey-
survey.
Was this
the
survey
surveying.
the first
This is
request?
mine for you. This is mine.
Was this
I'm sorry.
survey that you want done in the first request?
It was not.
okay, so
Then
I
don't
think we
they can use
can't,
the money.
I think as of right now, is today's meeting, we can't tell you yes until we have voted on and decided phase two projects.
Even
Which
though-
will happen in the next, even if you have the money, because we don't know, if we don't say yes to phase two, we can't give you money to do a project we haven't approved.
Do you have like,
Okay.
of all this, of the remaining money that you have, is there stuff that still needs to be completed and paid for?
Yes.
What you
Yes.
originally?
Fencing, fencing.
Fencing, and
Fencing.
is that enough to cover that?
Yes.
And do you have money left over and above that?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what they were gonna use for the survey.
So I think it's
Yes.
more of,
And then, even then, we would have this amount
I don't
left over.
we, like, we're gonna
I
make
think
these
you're okay.
decisions in the next month.
I think
I
you're
don't
okay.
think we can say, okay, I
You
think
know, I
we'll
think-
have made the decisions in the next month that what the projects we're going to propose to the town.
But the issue is they wanna use this year's money for
But they won't be
phase
using
two
it
work.
until the spring, so I think
The
until we
spring-
approve the
the
phase two
phase-
project, we can't say yes.
Next year's money doesn't become available till July 1st. The money they have expires in June unless they haven't, you know.
Okay, so
I
the
thought the money
question
didn't
is,
expire.
Right.
It
No,
doesn't.
That's right.
To do the work, to do the work that they had scoped, once they go and do work that is beyond what they had scoped now.
You guys have
This is the first meeting being filmed, too.
Good one. So just to be clear, you have $9,866 left.
Yep.
And that will cover the remaining balance owed on the fence of $5,900.
correct.
And then you then have like almost like $5,700 left after that. And after you pay for the fence, that covers everything that was included in
FY '17.
17. So you have, so there's money left over, and it's part of the project. So I would
But
vote,
I-
I would
that-
vote to do it.
That,
So I don't think we
that
can vote to do it
survey
yet.
was
You mean
never
your, that's your opinion
approved.
when it comes out?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we
yeah.
can't give them
Surveying
money.
was
No.
approved, and surveying
that
was a general
survey-
category.
Yeah.
It didn't have any
So what we can,
specific.
So
what
let
we,
me- let me- let
what
me-
we could do is this, we can, I can give Stuart a call and ask him for like a ruling on it.
I think it's more of, I don't feel comfortable approving FY17 money for an FY18 project that we have not voted on and approved as a group. If we vote and approve phase 2, then I think we can come back to it, but I think right now, until we've approved phase 2, I don't think I feel comfortable saying
I agree
yes.
with that too.
Because if they're not guaranteeing the money, and like we said, if they fulfill all their line items and there's extra money, our understanding is that money is supposed to roll back into the general fund that we can then
Okay,
use
so
for
you're not in
projects.
favor of it. Anybody, any other
Is the
questions,
surveying
opinions?
part of phase 2?
Yes.
It is.
It
so-
is.
Okay, so, but understood, no one has to say anything, I'm just saying something so I can get it
Yeah,
straight.
no, go ahead, Steve.
Surveying was part of phase 1,
Right,
and a certain amount of money was spent.
right.
You know, I think we just expand the surveying in phase 1 to complete it. You know, so if you spent 5,000 in phase 1, maybe it was 9,000. Who's us to say it was 5,000? I mean, so I would say, rather than having to wait until July, if indeed we go with phase 2, which we may not, that you could complete this. So if we're gonna vote, I'd say yay.
All right, any other discussion on it? So
would
it's a kind of a,
I would say that asking Stuart is the right solution for
Right,
this.
right,
It would be
agreed,
my
agreed.
comment.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that way we can make sure, because my recollection, I was trying to find it, but I remember that conversation occurring, that like when you scope something, you know, you approved X, Y, and Z, and once you move out of that box, everything X, Y, and Z, they can keep
Yeah,
chugging
okay.
along, but when they're outside the box, I just don't want us to step outside the box,
Okay.
because long-term, that could bite somebody in the butt.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And
Susan?
my philosophy is, we are a committee of people. Rules are great, but they're guidance, they're not set in stone. At some point, Griffin's is going to be done. That selectmen, you know, it's been 20 years in the making,
Sure.
it's gonna be
Okay.
moving
Yep.
ahead, you know what I mean? So, I think that in view of the fact that if they get the survey done, then they can keep moving.
Right.
Whereas if we hang back, then we're surveying, then we're trying to avoid the frost and all the
Okay,
aggravation.
Right.
So to
Jeff?
me, it's a logical
okay,
thing to
good
let
point,
them
good
go.
point. Jeff?
Yeah, actually, I think we're all kind of saying the same thing, but I thought the rule was pretty set forward that, unless I'm misunderstanding something, you anticipate, I know you have real numbers, but I can't look at that. You had, in your survey, you thought it was gonna cost $5,000, but it cost more than that, correct? So you already paid some of that up to the amount. My understanding is that only the sum that was voted on, at the town meeting, that's the number. Whether you could make it or not, we didn't, it becomes a brand new, we call this phase 2, say, but it's still just a brand new job. And then, but we can't, I don't think there's any leeway at all for us to go, yeah, well, let's vote in that extra money so they can complete the project before they get to June or whatever. I'm seeing that, unfortunately, that person's gonna have to wait until we approve that next $3,000 that they were short on.
Okay, all right.
And I
So
can see-
so you're a no.
Except we're not shot.
Melanie?
We're
Mel?
not sure.
We're not shot.
I'd
You're
like
not
to-
shot,
They
no,
have it
no.
in the budget.
I'd like to know what
They
the
have it in
first,
the
I don't
phase
know, I don't have the first proposal, but what was the wording in the survey? Was it for a specific area? And this is for, I don't
We have an
remember,
estimate for
I
a
don't
specific
know.
area. We have an estimate for a specific
This-
area.
Okay, and if this is for a different specific area, it's a different proposal, in my opinion.
Okay, so,
It needs to
I'm also
be-
not saying we wait until June, I'm saying we'll have made this decision in the next month. In that month, we can then look at it again and go, okay, well, phase 2 is approved, they still have the money in the budget, if we have to change it around, it'll change around, I'm
okay.
saying.
Anybody
that
wanna
right
make a
now.
motion on,
I make a
Possible
motion,
pushback.
make a motion that Paul contact Stuart to get advice from the community preservation
okay, so.
area. And then
so
from
if-
there, we'll move on at the
Okay,
next meeting.
so if Stuart says it's okay, then,
Then
we'll send out like do you wanna vote now if he says
No,
okay?
I
No.
don't know what he says.
no,
I would
because,
prefer not to vote now.
yeah, I
Well,
think,
actually, surveying's not gonna take place for a month or two anyway, really.
no, not till the spring.
Not until the spring.
So
Okay.
we,
Hopefully the spring's the month.
we'll have time to,
Yeah.
we'll actually have time
Next
to
week.
vote on phase
Next
2
week.
by that point
Next week,
too,
yeah,
so
yeah, okay.
I think we'll be.
So I'll get a hold of Stuart, get a ruling, let everybody know, and then we'll see you at some point soon. How's that? Okay, all right, does that work?
There was another issue about the 10% on the, that
Yeah,
was discussed.
you're
at
okay
the
with that.
last
We
meeting.
get one of the things it's on the agenda is I checked with Stuart from the Community Preservation, Stuart Saginaw from the Community Preservation Committee at the state level, and he's like a resident expert. And he said, basically, he said, let's see, the amount would, as far as for the contingency question, it is very common for CPA projects to have a contingency fund. The amount would vary upon the type of project and industry custom, but 5 to 10% is pretty standard. It's absolutely the smart thing to do, and you should discuss adding a contingency to a project if none is included in the budget presented to the CPA. It is especially important to the town to have enough funding. What he did say too is that, which wasn't in his email, that if that amount of contingency would be higher if it was like involved like asphalt, something that has like the price of oil is a big part of the component. So like a 20% contingency.
Right, we saw the
so-
bridge for over there, they suggested 15% because they were gonna have all that concrete,
And
concrete
stuff like
pipe
that,
and
right,
stuff,
right.
so, because they were gonna have a lot of materials.
So what he was saying is putting a contingency in makes sense. The amount of it is really is dependent upon what the components of what you're trying to do are. So, okay, so hopefully that gives you some clearance, some guidance, as well as everyone here too is.
Good.
So, and there's no danger having a contingency fund as everything left over in the account after the project is completed will be returned to the CPA fund. So if we have it, you don't use it, you don't get it. We get it back.
Okay, so,
So like if you get
June
the scope of
30th.
work done and you didn't go into the contingency fund, you can't use that for something else.
So it's a
It
contingency.
oh,
comes
absolutely
back.
not.
Okay.
It comes
Yes,
back,
all right,
okay?
right, I think that's.
Right, and you don't have a reason, like your rates didn't go up or
Right.
your materials didn't go up,
We
then
wouldn't ask.
you wouldn't,
for it.
you wouldn't use it and you can't access it.
No. Good.
Well, thank you for
Okay,
your time.
very good.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
See you soon. Snowshoeing.
Right.
That's sort of implied there, that, I think, because you used the word you might do this. It sounds like it's not something we ask the applicant to add to their, if they forgot the contingency, sounds like something that we physically add to.
We can do, yeah.
Which
So,
is good.
yeah.
So do we add that, do you think, Paul? And then
I think
keep
what
it
we-
in a separate fund? So that we have to account for that 10%?
I think what we do is that people come up with whatever they're looking for, and then it totals X, and then we put a contingency, then they put a contingency fund, part of it is 10%, whatever's we think is
So it's-
appropriate,
it's-
and then,
We could write it
and we
in.
could do that as
It's
well.
part of what gets approved.
But
by
it should
town
be,
meeting.
Yeah.
I think it probably should come from the people doing the work, because they would have a better
Absolutely.
sense of,
Yeah.
as,
Yeah.
what prices might fluctuate more so than we might, so. You can sit over, you get more room if you want to sit over there. You can sit if you
Well, I
want.
was gonna sit back here, look over your shoulder.
Make you nervous.
So anyways. Okay, so I'll let everybody know on that, and let's see, let's go to the agenda and look at the minutes, if we might. We are being recorded, Jeff, so,
Right.
Turn around and smile from
Keep the jokes to
probably a good way to,
PG.
probably a good way to speed up the meetings, right?
I make a motion to approve the minutes
I second.
from December 13th.
Okay, second,
Second.
Susan, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. Next thing is, I just read, let's see, update on projects in process. Kelly, did you do anything on that?
I have it, but I didn't print it out, so I'll email it
Yeah,
tomorrow. If I'm
Have we gotten any invoices for this time to review, or are
Yes,
we
I
good?
did.
We do, okay.
So I will hand those.
So we'll just need you to help us through that when we get there.
We could probably do that now.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Are they the same?
Yes,
Different?
yep, they're all the same.
She's really good at counting.
Let me ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Is this a town
Kelly, is this
decision
yours
or is
with
it a state decision?
With the whole set? Is that-
You can sign any copy.
I think it's,
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
think it's our Board of
That's
Health.
okay, thank you.
We'll let people do non-conforming uses everywhere, but we can't have styrofoam cups. Sorry.
Okay, so we're looking at something, first is for
I think it's a Board of Health.
fence,
The bump fence to do, this is for
Griffins.
Griffin's Dairy, okay. Fence is pretty.
No, that's okay. I'm,
Has everybody, not that you wanna go down now, but has anybody ever been down recently to Griffin's to see the work that's been done?
It was plowed today. John Kelleher came along and plowed
Oh,
it.
did he?
Did Jack do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
So sometime when maybe after the monsoon this weekend, if you have a chance, go down and take a look, because they've done a ton of work, and it really,
It's very nice.
it looks good.
we
Yeah.
have some pictures of it in the phase 2 proposal, I think.
Yeah, and there's a Facebook group for Griffin's Dairy, and they post pictures all the time. It's actually, it looks really nice.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion on the invoices? And my suggestion would be, I mean, we don't need 9 signatures on the invoices. I mean, as a group, we can decide we want everyone to sign it. But, I mean, just to make 9 copies, it seems
Yeah,
like a waste to me.
just pass one
Now,
around.
and it is good, the first meeting, we only had 1 copy, we had to all pass it around. Personally, I'm not involved with this project, I don't need to sign the invoice, I feel. I mean, who's ever
But
the,
I thought we were required to.
A majority of the board has to sign it.
the majority, on Park and Rec, we only had to have 3 signatures.
How many people are on Park and Rec?
Rec.
There's 5, right? On
Okay,
Park
so
and,
I would suggest we only make a few copies of it then, only so we're not, I mean, I've attended 3 meetings, I got so much paper, I don't know where I am. So I personally don't need to see the invoices,
Okay.
but I'm willing to sign them.
So the question is like, anybody wanna make the motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So I have the official copy here that we're gonna pass around.
Sure. Can I borrow your pen?
Yep.
That makes that the official pen.
So is that the vote to approve this, or was that the vote to approve that we don't need everyone to, how many signatures?
No,
No,
that
for
wasn't
the
about it.
invoice.
Just wanna make sure.
Kelly, do we have any other ones?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, good, okay. Very good. Mel needs to come back to Jeff. That, when you're done with it.
No, sign it.
You sign it, Steve?
Yeah, no, I'm not against signing it, I didn't think we all needed to sign it, but if everyone's signing.
Well, if we're here, we need 5 anyways, or,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need 5,
No,
so.
makes sense.
And we have 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
You get money for your signature, right?
Normally.
Okay, we'll shoot that back to Kelly, if you would, please. And as far as the projects are concerned, or process in 17, Legion's done. The Boy Scout thing has been ripped down, right? The building?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Buildings down,
The whole,
Buildings
it's
down.
level?
gone,
Level.
everything is gone, you would never know it was there.
So when the weather breaks, they'll
Yeah,
put
so
the fence up.
probably
spring,
fence will-
okay, all right. And let's see, I sent an email to Dory Jameson and Rick LaFawn relative to the
bridge study?
The bridge engineering study, so they'll be looking into it and getting back to us, so hopefully that's in process. And Griffin's Dairy is buzzing along, and I think that's it, right?
The playground,
Yeah, the playground
is
is,
that complete?
yep,
Well, they're,
No,
except
we
for the
still-
fence,
Except for
right?
the fence.
We're going in the spring.
yep. So, all right, and let's see, town accountant's budget. We have Sue Mokum sent out what you have in front of you, which is nice to get. So if we start at the top, let's see, so a carryover from fiscal year 17. So the fiscal year runs from July 1st through June 30th, correct?
Mhm.
All right, so carryover from 17 was 142. So what we need to do, what I'll do, I'll work with Kelly, is to go back to what was approved at town meeting, and we allocated whatever the allocations were for like housing, open space, and general fund. I'll go back and get those amounts. Then we'll take what we spent so far on each of those amounts and know where we stand, all right? So we need to,
You want to make sure that we have 10% allocated to each of those areas.
right,
Right, and the housing in particular, you want to make sure that they're managing that account, because that one is the one that we didn't have anything for.
right, yeah, and also
And
we,
historic might be on the edge, because what,
yeah, but we also had
I think we'll-
65% went into the general part of the fund,
Mhm.
whatever we call that. So, but I think we'll need to do that now, so otherwise we'll just lose sight of where we stand on
we
it.
should probably be carrying it on the
Yes.
sheet somewhere,
Right, right.
what we have,
Yep.
in,
So we'll look to do that.
from 2017, I agree
Okay,
with you
yeah,
there.
so we'll do that. And certified revenue for fiscal 18. So fiscal year 18 ends 6/30/18, right?
Mhm.
Or no,
19.
6/30/19.
No, oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It's 6/30/18.
Mhm.
6/30/18. And the 19 budget ends 6/30/19.
Mhm.
Okay, right?
Yep.
Right, so anyways, we have, right now, a carryover from last year was 141,000.
Quick
Certified,
question. Is that minus what we approved at town meeting? Or should we
Mhm.
minus what was approved from town meeting from this total?
that was what was, that's what we didn't approve.
Oh,
I mean, those are
leftover.
excess funds, yeah, surplus funds, I guess.
Sure,
And that's the
okay.
carryover.
That's the carryover, yeah.
And there may be surplus from some of the budgets from this year, but they won't get put into that account until
Right,
after the end of the year.
right.
Like the bridge, is that what you're thinking of?
Well, if the bridge doesn't, they don't do the study, we'll put that back.
That
Right.
was-
Or if Griffin's Dairy,
But that's what I was wondering, if the bridge does not get done, will it have to go back up for vote again
no,
to be
no,
done
no,
at
the
some
the
future
ruling
point, or
from
is it
Stewart,
just-
the ruling from Stewart was no. So if they get delayed, doing the RFP,
RFP?
the request for proposal,
Okay.
for the bid process.
Mhm.
So whenever they do that, if it comes back that the bid is under the 35,000, they move forward, whether it's like sometime in 18. If it comes back that the most competitive bid is in excess of 35,000, it's probably going nowhere. It probably comes back. Because they're not enough, then they have to come back and request more money in the next round.
So it stays there forever?
No, I guess if they can't get it done based on if the bids come back in excess of what was approved,
Mhm.
then I think the thing's dead.
But what if they do nothing?
I
Like for
think
5
Which is
years?
where it
comes
is.
back.
It comes back, so we'll get I guess sending the email request to Dory and to Rick is to have them move forward with it in terms of getting a bid or coming back and said they're not gonna do it.
Yeah?
Okay, so we've kind of initiated some type of
Question.
Next step.
Question on that, because I think it's saying the same thing, I just wanna make sure I'm sure in my head. That if the applicants don't spend 90% of their budget, that 10% comes back, or does that 10% belongs to them?
No, it comes back.
It does come back.
So
Once
if
the
they
project's
they
complete.
can keep the money, it would say, okay,
No,
for
they can't keep.
no, well, the American Legion, say that they finished the project.
Right.
And if they had $1,000 left over that they didn't spend,
Right.
that would come back to us once the project's complete. So, but if they don't complete the project, they can let it go into the next fiscal year and complete it in the next fiscal
Oh,
year.
gotcha that, okay, got that, okay.
So,
Once the the
but it's
scale-
only what we approved, you know, it's not like the money's at their discretion to use.
No, I can make sure, I remember, okay, thank you.
So you clear on that?
Yeah.
Clear? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Any other questions on that?
I have a
Stephen?
question, just.
Mr.
I'm
Mr.
looking-
Wakeland?
I'm looking
The
at
chair recognizes
new
Mr.
proposal,
Wakeland.
phase 2. And are they looking at 3 bridges?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so we built one.
yes.
This phase 2 has the second and third bridge in it, or just the second bridge?
I think they originally were gonna try to do both, and then after doing the first one, it only.
Yeah, why
Okay.
don't you hold that, Steve, because
Okay, no, again, I'm
you're getting off
thank you.
track here. We're talking about,
I'm just looking at
we're
this
talking
beautiful diagram.
about how much money we might have to spend. Anyways, you're shut off. So going back to the chart, so we had certified revenue of 376,303.64. The state match is what we got this past November. So right now we have about $577,717.42. We add the anticipated revenue for fiscal year 19 of 360. So we end up with about 938,000, of which 360 of it is anticipated revenue for fiscal year 2019, which starts July 1st of 18.
And the
Okay.
reason we got
So
two hits of over $300,000 this year was there was
We
a
were
year,
late,
there was a
right.
year held back, basically.
So we'll-
this won't happen again, we'll only get,
So,
next year we'll get like 360,000,
So now to go back to your point, Steve, or your question is, so we can approve projects up to 938,000 as part of what we have in front of us, that ultimately goes to town meeting for approval. So when I talked to Stuart, I asked him, well, do we have to wait until the end of fiscal year 19 before we have the full 938,000? He said no. It's the town accountant or the town treasurer, whoever that is, the responsibility to fund these projects. So they have lines of credit, whatever. So excess cash. So when we're looking at what we're going to do, we can do projects that total up to 938. And yes.
so I have a question, and maybe it's just because, like we said, this is a preliminary, this isn't a full budget. I know we kept 1 year back, the first year we'd approved it, because that was just, you couldn't fund anything with what we realistically had.
Which was the
And then
141.
yeah. And then I know that, we have to allocate a certain amount, so I almost want to see a full budget to know how much is in the housing fund, how much is in, because does that 938 include us taking out the 10% for the 2 years already, or is that
so what we-
subtracted from that number?
Good point. So what we'll do is we'll go back, say on this, so again, we'll do the accounting as to where we stand from last town meeting. Then we'll look to see, based on this number, what we're gonna put in for the allocations as part of the warrant for this year. So it would be like, 10%, we'll probably do 10% across the board, and then the rest, I don't know if we need, whatever we put in the administrative budget, I don't know if we need all that, probably not. We might probably have enough. So we'll divvy it up, but same type of process. But we have, I think the projects that we had in front of us were around 500,000, I think.
Yeah, I think, my question is, that 938, does that include, is that with us having take out that housing money already the previous years, or no?
No,
Nothing to do with it.
for none of these show the 10% for
Yeah.
housing taken out, so for each of those lines, you'd have to take out 10% for
So the
housing.
budget should.
Yeah, I wanna see a more broken down budget.
So this 140, the 141.
Right, this
Rory,
is just how much
Yeah.
money we
would
have.
be like,
Which we don't.
I'd have to.
30-odd thousand might be
10%
housing from
Yes.
last year.
Right, but what we're
Yeah,
gonna
because I don't wanna
spend,
be
it should
given,
be
I'm
another
being shown a
page.
number that I could approve projects up to 900. but I don't want to approve $500,000 worth of projects and then have a zero budget because the other
No, we got plenty.
4,000 is at 400,000 is actually already in a separate fund that we have to hold.
No,
Do you
no,
know what I
so,
mean?
so with 938,000 potentially to spend, and our projects are around 500,000, we're not even gonna be close. So if we had projects that were like $1.2 million, and we got 938, now that we're not even close. So we'll go back and do the accounting to figure out what it is, but just assume that there's plenty of excess availability to put the 10, to fund all those things like we did last year, and still have excess money in the overall budget across the board.
I just think it's the finance major in me that likes to see a fully broken out budget.
Yep, well, we can do that, no problem.
Thank
So,
Think of this as your income sheet,
Mhm.
and think of that we need a separate sheet for
Boom, boom.
your what you expended. So think of this as just, your in column, and then we have an out column that will include your 10%, because
So we have nothing for housing.
Yeah, we do.
No,
Yeah.
this year.
well, we don't have any, we have money in it. but
We have no
don't-
projects.
We have no projects,
Right.
housing
No, I don't
projects.
think, I
so this
think
could
the
be
whole
third
point that we
week,
really talked was we
3
wanted to plug as
years.
much money as possible into that so we could then, when we did a housing project, do a big one.
Mm-hmm.
We could do small ones, but I think we wanted to be
Well,
able
we
to
can
have
also-
enough money
yeah,
to make a
well-
solid, I think it was a bond argument we mentioned once with Jack. Originally, he wanted to have a solid amount of money to fund or go into a
Mhm.
project with a developer kind of a thing.
Well, yeah,
I bring this
and,
up at the housing meetings every month, and they choose not to bring anything forward, so.
What was that?
I bring the CPA money and the availability of
Yeah.
it, they know it's there.
Yeah. So the
They-
answer.
They have money that they
Right.
have to spend.
So I think the answer to your question, Rory, is a couple things. One is, we need to allocate at least 10% to housing, right? And it'd be nice to do something of size with somebody or whatever we might do. But in the meantime, there are projects to do. So all of us, say we just do the 10% in housing. Then all of a sudden there's a request that the housing comes back and says they might need maybe 300,000 or 500,000 to do a significant housing project for the town. We can bond that. So we can,
That's why I think we've always put it away. We've never, I mean, we've
But
also
we
never
can-
seen a
No,
house.
you
so
haven't done it.
we haven't done it.
Now
We
you
can,
want
we
it.
can bond it, yeah.
Yes.
So in other words, we can take a loan out for,
Yeah.
we can take a loan out for, say if there's 4 years left in our original
CPA.
CPA. So we could take a loan out for $400,000 and pay $100,000 back a year for the remaining 4 years. So there are ways to
I
do it.
understand how that process works. I just, like I said, I want the breakdown. So moving on.
we have
beyond
3 years
that.
left, so.
Alright.
So,
Yeah.
but, I think there's 2 comments here, is one, recognize that there are probably, bigger projects out there that may come to us, over the next few years. And it's not that we should be thinking about, should we bank some of this money? Which we will anyway, because there is some money that is
Right.
gonna be left over, but how much should we bank? I know I've started to talk to conservation the last couple of meetings to try to get them thinking about what is it that we wanna do, because we're doing a lot of recreation, but
Yeah.
frankly, we're not doing a lot of open space.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest open space is Griffin's Dairy, but we already own it. But, we're talking about connecting parks, or, how to put in bike trails or something like that.
Right,
You may see different proposals show up. You may
Which would
get
be great.
well, you
Yeah,
might
which
see
is-
something
which is
from
good.
housing, or
Yeah.
you may see something from the historic
I was just
commission.
gonna say, there's nothing in this new packet on
No, we're gonna be
No.
short on historic, because the
Right,
only
so
thing we
we'll have to
have
put
is
aside
the
for
American
them,
Legion.
too.
They're actually gonna have,
Mhm.
so that we may see something bigger, so we need to have that conversation. But I think perhaps the first way to handle it is to go through the projects we have at hand and try to make some decisions about what we like and don't like,
Right.
And then maybe advertise what we might be looking for?
for the next year.
Well, that money we put aside, like, we'd like to encourage this type of.
Well, and, I read our master plan that we have, and, it lists a zillion things in it, but
Yeah.
I feel like the commissions, the historic, housing, and conservation aren't playing right now, and
Mhm.
trying to get them to
Yeah.
work with us.
I think,
I understand.
Justin from the cable.
It's hard.
There's valid reasons, but.
Justin
Yeah,
from
I
the,
understand.
Justin from the
People
cable
are
company.
busy too, it's a lot of work.
Showed me how to turn it on, but basically I told him we were gonna have a public meeting coming up soon, so he said he would come and tape it. We'd invite people to
Good.
come and tape it. So I think getting all that information and also to show what we've done, then I think as the years go by and people can see the tangible results of what we've done, I think we'll get more people coming.
We will.
You know,
We will, and I
So-
think, letting the public know is a good thing.
but we're gonna have at least probably 400,000, left over. Assuming we approved everything, we'd still have about 400 grand left over to move forward for future projects. And then each year would be it. So anyways, I think we're in pretty good shape, I guess.
One housekeeping
Yeah.
is that this is 16%. Where is the, where does the 60,378 come from?
That comes from the state's fund.
Right, but it's a percentage?
It's a percentage,
It's-
so they're,
But that's not 20% of,
no, it's like, I think it was like 19%. So
16%.
there's 165 cities and towns in the fund now. And so and the amount of money that goes in it is collected from,
Deeds, register of deeds.
register of deed,
Yeah, right.
stamps,
Fees.
taxes, fees, et cetera. So unless they increase, the state's trying to do something that increases that pool of money, because there's so many cities and towns in it now. If they don't, 18% or 19% last year, going forward for November of 18 is probably gonna be less, because more towns have gone into it, so.
Right, and I think her comment number,
20% is realized.
that,
Right,
yeah, it's not.
it is, yeah.
It's not
So
realized.
state match of 3 is really, so my guess is unless things change, that's gonna be less, but it's gonna be something,
Okay.
it's gonna be
All right.
something.
I was wondering how they did the math,
Mhm.
like how many liquor stores you can have based on your population kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just added more towns approved it, so there was less
I think they also.
money when you divide it by all the
I
towns.
think they also
Yeah.
approved more liquor license too, I think,
I think they did.
yeah. No, I mean, nothing to do with this,
Thank
but
God,
but
huh?
as an aside, so I think it's
It's a place to go.
It's a progressive state legislature. So anyway, so that's kind of where we are on that. And I think, probably what we should do is we'll do the accounting, and maybe next meeting, we should look to make a decision on what projects we want to do, okay?
I think
Is
we were
next
gonna.
meeting our open meeting? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
gonna
was just gonna
say.
say,
Yeah.
is it our open meeting next meeting? The one that?
We haven't scheduled it yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought we were gonna do the public meeting before we made a
January
decision,
24th.
right? Made our final.
That's, somehow I had January 24th as being
Don't we have
public
to
meeting.
approve them before public
Yeah,
meeting?
I thought we were gonna,
Because why would you show them something we didn't approve?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
didn't meet the
I
guidelines.
think we should.
I'm not
just-
sure,
I
I'm not
think-
sure of the process.
Well,
I'm
we
just
invited people
questioning.
before. I think we should approve the projects, then have the public meeting.
I had a meeting for the 24th too.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll still keep that date.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
thought
but
that
I
was,
thought
that was the public meeting.
That's
'cause-
what I thought too.
Well, we can still do the public meeting, if you want to do that, but I think we should approve I think we should approve the projects first, then have the public meeting.
I thought the point of the public meeting was to get
Was to get
the
input
public's
from the
input.
public on which
On what
projects
projects
we
they
should
liked.
approve.
But what if, so
You know.
we have approved them as far as meeting
Yeah,
criteria.
but I don't think that's not the.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
they
what we
had to.
did.
That's what
All
they-
we've
Yeah,
done is
that's-
say they meet the
That's not
criteria.
the-
That's the scope of that.
No, that's not that's the responsibility of this commission is to approve the projects.
The
I mean,
criteria.
so we had public
For
meetings.
criteria, right?
No, we've had a public meeting before. We opened it up to anybody who wants to present a project for consideration.
Right.
So we're in that process. We've got everything that we need. Now we think we may need to make a decision. Then we're gonna have a public meeting. Because
I
it,
I didn't think that was
the
right.
town meeting ultimately approves it, so.
But did we approve the projects that are?
No, we haven't done that
No.
yet. We haven't done that yet.
We have,
Just
have
said
we
they met
approved
the-
them for eligibility?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Let me
They're
finish my
eligible.
sentence.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to
Yeah.
know.
All right, hold on. What else?
That's it.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So we've approved them for eligibility. Now we need to approve the projects. And then I think we can have the public
The
hearing.
public hearing can't be on the 24th because it has to be published in the newspaper
Mhm.
for at least 2 weeks.
Okay, so I think, my thought would be we use the 24th to approve whatever this committee wants to do. Then have the public meeting in March, or February, I'm sorry, February. Have it in February. And then town committee, town meeting actually is the final approval of the projects.
That makes sense. I mean, that's where the voting happens.
Yeah. So what do you think?
That's fine.
Can we approve
Thank you.
the project now?
No.
Well,
part of it
I
is
think.
we have to have the discussion, but we have to
I think, I think Rory's point about getting the breakdown, I think is a, you know, another people a valid one, so we know specifically what we have. But we have plenty of money, but let's get we'll do the accounting.
I don't think money will hold up
No.
us voting.
No,
No.
I don't.
No, I would agree.
I just want to know. That's basically all. it
Yes.
is.
Right.
No, we
It's not
need-
gonna
we need
hold
it.
up the
Yeah.
vote.
No.
It's
But
just
if
we've
you-
reviewed them.
I don't know,
we've
do you
talked
want
about
to vote now on the
know.
projects? Or do you want to wait till the 24th? That doesn't make any
them. I
difference.
don't
I'm
care.
prepared
I
to,
just-
I'm prepared to
Only quarter
vote.
day, plenty of time.
Well, do we want to start going through some of
Yeah,
them?
we
Maybe
can
do
start
half
going
of them and
through
do the other half if it gets too late?
True,
Yeah, we
Then
can
we
always
can-
just start
we
going
can-
through them now that it's on the agenda for us to start doing that anyway.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would make a suggestion that we look at the American Legion first, because that should be pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
It's the only historic one we have, so it's not like, if we don't vote that, that would be my suggestion, because I think it's pretty straightforward.
So the American Legion is for how much?
25,000.
18,210.
Say that again?
18,210.
And does that include a contingency?
No, it does not.
25,000 on the approved eligible project list. I think
Okay.
that included a contingency. I'm gonna
Oh,
have a couple of meetings.
Do you have that, Kelly? Maybe we can
we're
make
giving
it.
them half of the contingency.
I think,
No, they asked for 18,000. I think,
Give them
I just know this is the number that's here, and I don't know why
Yeah.
Okay.
something might have changed.
Why don't we see if, let's see if Kelly has it, and she can make copies, so we're all working from the same thing.
I'll share.
Or make copies from you, no, I mean like from that form there.
Oh.
Is that the most recent, Susan?
Double check.
I've written on mine.
That's all right, we can use that. Kelly, can you make some copies?
I just wanna make sure that they match.
Yes, and I had 25, and then,
68.4,
That
and we
was
adjusted
Kate.
37.4.
the Legion building showing the amount they requested is
Yeah, so that was.
21,000, not 18,000 on
Yeah.
my sheet. So maybe there's a later estimate.
So 21, and then I think we asked them to build a
you have the
contingency,
wrong
which is
one.
where we get to the
No,
25.
17. I'm giving you the wrong one, I apologize.
Okay, there it is.
All right, let's,
They actually asked for 25, I have it.
Nope, I'm looking.
I got it, 25,000, Ken Coburn, American Legion.
and that includes the contingency, right?
I don't know.
Oh, this one.
It doesn't look like it.
I don't think it-
No, but I
There's
think
no
with
line
his
item,
stuff,
no.
it was very straightforward, and I don't think the contingency was gonna be.
This is for painting, right?
Yeah, but that might be, they might have come back with us after asking him to do the contingency, and that might be the full one.
I have on the last thing we received from American Legion, a 21,000 quote, which is 16,500 on the quote and 4,500 on the contingency.
Okay.
To the 20.
21.
That totals 21?
Alright, so do you wanna go and just take this one? I mean, I wrote on it, but
it's not as scribbled up as mine.
So
I'm
Kelly,
pretty sure. Yes.
Yes.
I have the crossed out.
oh, here it
ones.
is.
Yeah,
Here's my
on
American,
that side.
the rest of my
It's
American
here,
Legion.
yeah.
And you can
Sorry.
write on the one.
Request for proposal. Okay, yeah, I have the quote for 16.5,
21 altogether.
and it's 21 altogether.
So, you got it?
But why do I have one that says 25? Seeking professional services, blah, 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 blah. I got two quotes, I remember that conversation.
Yeah, this
What's the
one
date of that,
says
Melanie?
21,
Yeah,
and this one
Doesn't
says
have the date.
25.
and this says 25, this application. I'm just trying to figure out.
DPW is the same, and
So this might be the updated one, because that's 68.4, and that's.
yeah,
what we're-
right, yes, and that's been read, so
Yeah,
this
so
is the newest
updated
one, this is the newest one.
Which is
Yeah.
how much?
And I didn't
21.
scribble on that one.
21, okay, so that,
Because then that has, this was
All right.
25, but that
yours
has.
is
Right.
21 too, right, okay. So 21 contingency.
Hey, hold it,
She's-
hold it, hold it. I have this that says 25 on it.
Wait,
Come on. That's them, right?
That's the
What, do you have the
That's
20?
the old one. Look
That's
at
the old-
date
There's no date.
on the top.
Oh, 10/23,
10/23.
17.
17.
And what date is yours?
Mine isn't dated, but mine says 10, doesn't say a date.
I have the
We all
quote
this
for
one.
16.5. I don't know what the,
Should I just open it? I'm getting lost.
yeah. Kelly might have the best, did she go to get her
She went
file?
for a photocopy of this one.
Sale
So
proposal.
then that 68.4 changed to 75,240. Like I have a total of 482,000 before contingency changes.
I'm sorry, Rory, I didn't hear a word you said.
So it was that one. I think this was one that was handled at the last meeting, and then when we had all those discussions about adding contingencies and
We added the
had that
4,000.
discussion, certain projects had not included that contingency.
Right, right.
But they did.
They did.
So they did. So Griffin's Dairy went from 68.4 to 75,240.
Okay, but hold on. Let's just focus on this one.
All right, leave.
Okay, so
I have
I have a
21.
quote for 16.5, and we have on our sheet 21. So 16.5 and 16.5.
I have a quote for 16.5 with a $4,500 contingency.
That makes sense, and I
So-
think what happened was that this was their first estimate, and then they got the quotes. You know, I think
Good, thank
it's
you.
in steps, so I think it's 21.
So it's 21. Okay, and thank you. That concludes the contingency. So, anybody want to make the motion? Anyone, motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion to approve
I'll
it.
second.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we got one, Melanie
Why are you
is
abstaining?
abstained.
Because I'm a member there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can vote for
I'm
it.
we-
not a veteran, but I'm a member.
Let's
You
see,
can vote.
one,
Yeah, but-
two,
Oh, I get it, I
three,
get it,
4,
yeah.
5, 6.
Okay.
So
I just don't want
That's fine.
anybody to
6
have it.
approval, all right.
Good.
Okay, perfect, thank
Passing
you.
without-
We have a mold.
Let's see, which one are we gonna do next?
Let's see, what's the,
The next one that doesn't have any changes is
250 per people.
there's Griffin's Dairy, DPW, the two.
Well, let's
separate-
start at the top then. Why don't we just start at the top? So, Griffin's Dairy, that included a contingency, right?
That contingency brought them up to 75,240.
Okay, so Griffin's Dairy is how much?
75,240.
Okay,
And that was phase 2, walking paths.
right,
So this is additional bridges and the flagpole.
in the paths and other things.
Walking paths, additional bridges and flagpole.
Right, okay, so, any,
You on Griffin Dairy?
Can I just ask, is the
Any dis-
contingency in the write-up, or we've added it?
I think, so I have it, I think it was 68.4 was the original, and then at the last meeting, we had all those discussions about contingency. And that number with the contingency built in brought them to 75,240, and we asked them to submit a letter to
Okay,
claim
that's what I was gonna ask.
changing that.
They did
budget.
send, okay, excellent.
Yeah,
okay,
So we have a letter with that new number on
new
it.
budget, and then it says that it's specifically for
all right.
contingency.
Does anybody wanna make the motion to approve that?
I will.
All right, any discussion?
How much was that again?
75,240.
240. All
It's the
right,
first one.
so we have a motion on the floor to approve it. Anybody wanna second it?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, so we got 7, right?
Mhm.
7 approvals, okay. Next one is DTW fencing, how about DTW fencing for 48,
Okay, so this one, I don't think we had a discussion about contingency on, did we, at all? I don't think we talked about this. You did the quotes, right? So
Yes.
you know what you've
I
got.
did most of them, because this is considered grant money, will actually honor your quotes for up to a year.
Super, good
Um,
job, thank you.
So I think we'll be good.
Okay,
so 48, you wanna, okay, so we
do we
don't,
wanna put
let's put
a 5% buffer, maybe?
why don't we put
I mean, it
10%
does-
in?
With the DPW fencing, how much of it is being done, the labor, is the
All of it.
DPW installing all of it?
No, everything's being done by the company.
By the fencing company?
Except the only thing the DPW is doing would be like clearing.
Clearing the,
and-
I mean, I think if they say they have to honor the grant for the year, I don't know that, I feel like we have to build that contingency into it.
Well, if we, I would say let's build it in case something comes up. And if they don't need it, they hold to the 48, it stays with us.
So we wanna maybe make it a 5%, not the full 10%?
I'd do 10. Again, it's not gonna,
Yeah,
if they don't,
Jobs rarely ever fall into budget.
So that would be like 10% would be 40.
And we're
4,
doing
8,
FY
8.
17 prices, not
48,
FY 18, you know, if they do it
So-
late in the year next year or something.
So
I'm just-
48,
I'm
8,
worried
9,
that
6,
somebody's gonna-
plus 4, 8, 8, 9.
So
So
it'd
that
be
would,
40.
that would be
890.
53, total of 53, 785.
My recollection was that Steve was concerned about the fencing along Beaver Brook on this one.
Right.
Was the one
Right.
thing I remember somebody asking
I
about.
mean, there's gonna be a master plan, we were told by someone that attended, you know,
Yes.
it's worth doing, you know, maybe excluding the Beaver Brook part, but that master plan may be 5 years away.
I think
They
that
also
when
said-
he mentioned, sorry, I don't mean to, go ahead.
Go ahead,
I didn't mean to talk over you.
that's all right, go for it.
I think he mentioned that he mentioned wanting someone to come to us and have us fund a master plan being done in the area.
Right.
I don't think that has not been proposed.
Well, no,
and,
no,
you know,
what I'm saying though is with any master plan, so now we're gonna fund the master plan, another year's gonna be to do the master plan, a third year's gonna be for us to approve it. I mean, nothing's gonna be done down at Memorial Field for 4 or 5 years, so to hold up fencing this for 4 or 5 years may not be enough.
No, I
No.
think it's a safety issue at this point for the
It
kids.
is, yeah.
I think there was some discussion about that the only thing they're going to fence is the
Right on
By
the
the
water.
water
Yeah.
part.
By the ocean there.
They weren't going to
Oh,
try
that's
to
a-
do any other
Yeah,
that was
fencing
it.
until
Yeah.
the
So-
master
right?
plan.
Right,
So-
and,
Yeah, it's
and
one
it's,
right
and
around
sh-
the water.
Kelly
Right
showed
on-
us, she didn't show us the graphic pictures, but
Yeah.
she showed us some pictures, and I think that fence along the water is in disrepair.
It's-
Yeah,
And
it's-
somebody
it's a-
could
it's
get
a
hurt,
concern,
so
yeah.
it's probably, from a safety perspective, a smart thing for us to do.
Okay. So
But
the
I do understand your point, though.
Yeah,
10%
Right.
is like, is the 4,889, so that brings us to 53, 785, not 54. So 53, 785 for DPW, fencing, et cetera.
How much is contingency?
10%.
10% of 4,889, Mel,
I mean, sorry.
which brings us to 53, 785. Unless the battery in my computer is failing, should be okay.
I
then,
make a
Mel.
motion to approve the fencing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good, thank you.
Next is the summer concerts.
no, I gotta stop for a moment, because, again, we don't know the full picture of the finances, okay? We're going down the list, I'm seeing the 240,000, I'm for the 240,000.
Yeah, but we have like, we got about 900,000 to spend,
I don't want.
so we have plenty of money.
I have some comments on the 240, so
Okay.
you guys are gonna, we're
So
gonna
what's-
wanna
what I'm
talk about
saying
that
is-
one.
I would not vote for the fencing, I would not vote for the summer concerts, you know, in my mind, I've prioritized the track to be my number one.
But I think the
Because it's
track
something-
has,
can I-
oh, sorry.
It's something that needs to be done, okay? American Legion needs to be done because it's the second part of the project. Griffin's Farm needs to be done, the second part of the project. But these other ones are nice to haves. In
So,
my eyes, that's just my opinion.
Good point, but all these things total like 463,000. And we
You're
have,
saying we're gonna approve them all.
well, no, assuming if we approved them all,
Yeah.
they would be 463, and we have like a total number of 938, so there's,
Well,
Can we do
have
Riley's
to,
track next?
well, we have to remember that the summer concerts number, including the contingency, brings that up to 39,100.
okay, but still,
The
it's.
second one's
it-
30,
We're not even
and then-
close. We're not-
But,
not
but I
even
see what
close.
Steve's saying, though, we're going by an order here, and no matter what order we come with, is kind of, we shouldn't really, we're not, I guess because if we had $400,000 in our budget, we didn't have the full amount, then as we counted through here, the last guy on the list gets screwed, so
Right.
it just, that's what just kind of, you know.
But we're not, we have plenty
I
of.
think we'd be doing random.
we-
I don't think
It's
we're.
random.
We have plenty, we have more, if everyone decides we want to do all of them, we have plenty of money to do that with a lot of excess money left over. So we're not close. We're not tight relative to what we have.
All right, so it's not-
So I think we can do the rest in any order you want. But like, keep that in mind, if we approved all of these, we still have like, they total like 463,000 versus what we got from town accountant is like 938, so I think we should, if you want to do them, we got enough capacity to do it.
Gotcha.
All right, so I guess we can,
Okay,
so what do you want to do?
I mean, my only other thought, if we're going specifically, like how you said, Riley was your number one, 240 was if we did a certain one. There was also the $180,000 version, and realistically, when you did the breakdown of cost per benefit, and the cheaper track and the per year and the warranty issue, they're gonna run out around the same time anyways.
No,
And
they're not.
if we didn't do the maintenance
Yes,
on the
they
first
are.
track, how are we gonna guarantee that we're gonna get the maintenance done on the
It's
second
gonna be the
track?
same price, whether you use the cheaper or the more expensive when you look at both of them. And the 240 only gets a 5-year guarantee. The other one's only a 5-year guarantee. And
But-
my biggest problem, please let me finish for a second just so I can say what I have an issue with what happens in 5 years when that track needs to be maintained, because we cannot give them O&M money. We can only give them
Right.
money to do it. We do not have a plan. We're gonna go put in a brand-new, beautiful track. You know, we're gonna put in a brand-new one.
Not put it in, but
Yeah.
maintain it.
But
Maintain it.
how's the maintenance gonna happen? Because there is no budget for that.
We can't.
And we have
Well,
not,
I re-
let me finish for one
Yeah.
second. We have not talked to the school department to get their buy-in about what they want. Because I think, is it that school
I
department?
disagree
No,
with that,
no,
because
no.
we all got an email from Peter.
Oh, we did? But are they going to, you know, because it's gonna be a
Are they
school
gonna do
budget
the
issue.
upkeep?
Are they gonna
Who's
do the upkeep? Who's doing the upkeep?
I don't
Riley,
know if it's a
Riley
school
Field
budget
is a
issue.
separate,
It's a
separate.
school track.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
separate from the, it's separate from the
the
school.
school
It's a
department.
private track.
Private
But the
track.
whole point of why we're
Town
doing it is
owned.
because the kids run on the
Well,
track.
I think that's
They
the
use
whole
the
point.
main users. of
I
it.
mean, and the soccer field is in the middle, and it's
Yeah.
all used by the high school, like,
Yeah.
I
you
use
know.
it.
Yeah, I know, I understand, other people
Do you
use it.
pay, do you pay a fee for using it? No?
No.
Maybe you should.
But my issue is, if
I
we're
think-
going to give that much money to some organization, you know, we need to understand how it's going
Okay,
to
this,
be
this is,
taken care
this,
of.
this will be the first,
Sorry, but.
unanimous vote. So,
No, we've had
Well,
a.
no, I'm not
which is okay, which
I'm
is all
not
right.
necessarily opposed to this track. Don't misunderstand me. Understand what I'm trying to ask, because I think it's a legitimate question, is we're gonna spend this money on this track, who's gonna maintain it after we do that?
So I have.
Because the whole problem with the track right now, you know, they've maintained it, but, you know,
As best they could, yeah.
As best they
So they may
could.
come back in 5 years and ask us for another.
We can't give them money.
No, so I
For
have.
all
But-
maintenance.
But I don't know if we can,
No, it's-
because I understand what you're saying, it's capital, you say, who's gonna plan that capital expense? Like building a school that we're not gonna maintain.
Well, no,
It's
no.
stupid, you know?
Well,
But,
we're gonna fix the track so it works, but
Yeah.
it has a
the
maintenance
difference in
clause
prices,
with it.
I understood it, was that the 240 versus the 180 or 190 is at the end of the 5 years. If you recode it or do something, then it extends the guarantee out like another 5 years.
No, the
Okay,
guarantee-
So I
it
have,
doesn't
I have
extend the
Sean,
guarantee.
so I have
Doesn't
Sean's
extend.
original proposal
And-
that has the breakdown. So the Plexa track surface, which is a $170,000 one, with, they come back in 10 years and do a $75,000 update, which whatever that money comes from.
And at 5 years, they have to
We'll
do
give them
something
18
too.
years on that track.
Okay.
If they do the maintenance they're supposed to.
Yep.
And they come back in 10 years and get 75,000
Yeah.
additional dollars. The BSS 100, which is the $240,000 one, which in 10 years they still have to come back and get 75,000, gives you 23 years. When you do the cost breakdown, it's for 18 years it becomes 13,600 a year versus the 23 years is 13,700. 13,700. Both tracks come with a 5-year manufacturer's warranty.
Mhm.
And that's it.
So
Okay.
they said that basically the BSS 100 one looks better, looks fancier, and is more expensive. They say most people don't resurface the track when it's recommended. I think that's the issue
Yeah,
Abington
right.
had, where we did not resurface it when it was supposed to be done.
At 5
We
years.
then patched it, and the patching is what's causing all the issues. And what this is they're stripping it down to the bottom and basically reinstalling a brand new track.
Correct, yep.
So this can't come, none of this money, like we said, it's a valid concern on who's gonna do the maintenance, because I don't wanna spend $170,000 or $240,000 for them to have the same issue happen in 7 years.
Right.
When in 10 years, they're supposed to
Urban
fund.
sharing
it.
is
so that fee,
maintenance as well.
that fee there, that 240, that doesn't, they're not working it out
So
with
it's
the
American.
repairs in between, that doesn't
No.
include
No, we
repairs.
can't pay for repairs, that is literally the installation only.
Okay, I thought they were making a comparison that if we spent this much and you'd have to repair it, twice versus 4
No.
times kind of thing.
No, and there's a
No.
maintenance at 5 years, and then there's the big maintenance at
So it says,
10 years.
if the first question is, some towns do not resurface their tracks when it is recommended, this is usually due to a lack of funding by the town. For example, a Plex track
Right.
surface, which is what we have right now, should receive an additional coat or two of rubber and a binder between 6 to 10 years, depending on the use. With Abington, with the town using it, the school using it, it's probably 6. If those maintenance resurfacings do not take place and the surface deteriorates beyond saving, this is what happened to Abington.
Right.
Now, I thought when Sean came and talked about it, he said that they have a fund for the track and that they would do the upkeep
But it's only,
from the fund, but they
But-
couldn't take, he said it would deplete his entire
Yeah,
fund
he'd given us his
to,
checking account or something, it had 30,000 in it.
yeah.
And I
So
think
good,
the
so they are
email,
fundraising
the
for it,
email
that's where your
from,
part of your question
Well,
is.
they have fundraised, I don't think they're fundraising for it now.
Right.
No.
And there is
Yeah,
some
'cause I have
maintenance
nothing
that
to do
needs
with
to go on every year at the
Yeah.
field,
Right.
that's, they're spending $3,000 or $4,000 a
Yeah,
year
so
doing stuff out there.
the-
I appreciate that. I just worry about that, what do we do in 6 years and what are we doing in 10 years
yeah,
with the
so
tracks?
the
You know, how-
support was that they supported the project.
Let me ask the same.
Steve.
Okay.
Mel,
Thanks. We're gonna spend, I believe, by the time Griffith's Dairy is done, this amount of money.
Yeah.
By the time it's done, and that is going to require maintenance. Whether it's grass seed or lawnmower, it's all gonna require maintenance. At most projects, the fence, I mean, every project is probably going to.
well, like,
require-
this
actually,
one has, I think.
it's a good point, the American
Big.
Legion is
It's
really
going to
maintenance.
This is
require
big maintenance
That's
stuff.
maintenance.
This
We're
is,
replacing
So
stuff.
when you do this, you can't fault it for requiring
Right,
maintenance.
maintenance can't be
no.
No,
the key argument here,
Right.
because even, you just mentioned 2 good examples. American Legion in 5 years is gonna have to be repainted. I mean, are we gonna pay for that in 5 years? Because
No.
we don't know, 'cause we don't know
But
who's
if
gonna
they
support
come
it.
forward
We don't know who's gonna vote for it.
But the problem is
Hopefully we're
that,
still here.
Not me.
but I worry about the track because I truly would like to hear a
ideally,
plan.
the track, is maintained. I mean, at least
Yeah.
there's 30,000 somewhere going in there, available.
But
I
it's,
mean, these other things, they don't have a backing, a financial backing. So in 5 years, the American Legion is gonna come back, and as you just said, I had forgotten, Griffin's Dairy is gonna need maintenance, the bridges are gonna be painted or chipping away, things are gonna have to be done. In any case, this track is used by more people than pickleball courts,
Right.
the playground, people that go to the summer concerts.
So
In my eyes, this is the one thing that has to be done by the town.
my
Whether it's us
question
or
is which
not.
one of
School
these?
committee could do it, but they'll never do it.
School.
right,
they
well,
can't do it.
it's too bad it wasn't put in the high school when we
Yeah.
did the high school because we spent $90 million and we have beautiful fields out there. I can't believe this
Another
wasn't included.
250,000.
All right, who else,
They
who
wouldn't
else
have
has
noticed it.
who else has an opinion?
I just wanna know, we have the choice to choose between 2 different options, either 170,000 or 240. 170 is the exact track that we already have, it's the track that we've had before, and based on the town's mistakes or learning process, they now know what does and does not need to be done with that specific track. I'm not saying we don't approve the project, I'm saying we have 2 different budgets we can approve it for.
Okay,
So we need to determine which one,
all right.
And he wanted
Susan,
the
do you,
240.
you have an
Yeah.
opinion?
but it looks better.
Well, I think it's more than that.
I would go, if it were up to me alone, I would go with the lower amount, which is less per year,
Mhm.
and has the same warranty and all, it's gonna require the same maintenance and all that, I would go with
They
the lower.
can't have the
It
same
may have,
warranty.
Can't have
it
the same-
does.
It does,
Fire
it does. We
manufacturer.
asked
That's what-
Sean, I
yeah.
asked him twice
Then why
too.
did he
And that's,
entered,
and that's,
It's supposed to have
Either
the
one.
second one's
Okay.
supposed to have a 25-year life, but it only
Well,
comes
this
with
but it has
a
a
5-year
5-year
warranty.
warranty.
I personally would
Wait a
go
minute,
with
wait a minute, hold on. Jeff,
Yes.
you have an opinion? Want to say anything?
That's just so many type
No,
A
just to-
personalities at this.
Just to, just to, everybody have the ability to weigh in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it myself.
No, because I'm just weighing it back and forth, my mind has been so much in the committee as that we have a set of rules, other than us telling us what the projects are, that we request so much money, we pay so much money, if we have that much money, or, I guess with the expense of the field, I don't think the 5-year warranty is I think going on what the extension that they talk about, the warranty is just the point where they go, after that, you're
You're on your own.
gonna wear your own. But the track's still made of better materials. You do get more. Unfortunately, somebody's driving a really nice car someplace after they do that, But still, it is better materials. and it will last, and they gotta maintain it anyway, but it's gonna be so much, I don't know where, I've been going to all these fields, all these other towns, and, you know, we kinda look like, Beverly Hills, not Beverly Hills, we look like,
Hillbillies.
yeah, we look a little bit.
Not anymore, with these beautiful fields back here we're not going to.
Yeah. I go to a lot of lacrosse fields and I go,
Wait till
We're gonna look like a high-class
Wait until the
town.
grass comes up. you know.
yeah.
So anyway, so I guess.
They are different.
Yes.
You
I
have
gotta,
to-
anyways, my feeling is
The
like
cost
the
is
240 is gonna be
same.
better material
Mhm.
than the 190 or 180. So I guess what we decided, what I mentioned earlier is we'll take motions as we do similar to town meeting, so.
I just
but-
have one more
No, let me finish. So we'll turn it back. So we'll take motions as to who wants to approve what, and we'll start at the higher amount first, see if we can get that approved. If not, we'll go to the lower one, and that's the process that the town meeting uses. We use the same thing. So,
Okay.
Mel,
You said they're both the same, that there's no difference.
No, I
between
said they both
117
have to, in 10 years, they both have to come back for $75,000,
Right.
and they both come with the same original manufacturer's warranty. You're getting about a 5-year difference in life out of the two different ones, and they're
Okay.
two different water bases. But the warranty issue is they both have the same
You need a
manufacturer's
motion.
warranty, and in 10
Strike
years,
first.
they both have to come back for the
Whoever
same
wants to
amount.
make it.
Right, but they're not the same.
No, they're two different
Okay.
products.
Okay.
Okay,
I just
so-
wanted to make sure that.
all right. So I think we'll open the floor for motion or motions.
I make a motion to approve the
You said we're doing
$170,000.
the first.
No,
one, bigger
we'll
money
let's see who
first.
wants to make a motion first.
Oh.
Okay, so.
I can make a motion.
I know, but he said we were
So
doing.
Kathy, you're
I'm
in
making the
for-
motion for the $170,000.
I wanna make a, well then, what if that gets approved, then we
Well,
don't
you have
get.
to
No, we'll
say-
start any other motions?
I make a motion to approve the 240.
Okay,
Somebody has to second both of
I will
those.
second yours.
I'll second the 240.
There we go.
okay, so we'll start at the higher
We
amount
need
first, the
Sean.
240.
There's,
So we have Mel has made the motion for 240, Jeff has seconded it, so we'll take a vote, who wants to approve the 240?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, me as well, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Aye.
5? Okay. So we got 5 for the 240, that passes then. So 5 to 2,
Mhm.
okay.
Is there a contingency on this?
No,
No,
Because,
I don't believe, I don't know.
no, are
Is
we
it
adding
counting
the
so damaged to
contingency?
begin
Not a
is what I-
contingency,
It's a
What do you call
not
it?
to
I
exceed
think because the
cost.
last time Sean
Yeah,
came
this
here
is
was
a
in
not to
November.
exceed.
Yeah, this one, there's no moving on this one.
Yeah.
This one. No
So,
moving on this
I think the
one.
reason no contingency was built into this one is because the last time Sean came was in November. This was before we discussed having to add a contingency.
Right,
So we need to
but
look
we've
into
added
adding it.
contingencies.
There's no
to the other
surprises in
ones.
this. All the surprises went out when they built the field. So this is a slam dunk for them.
And if you look at the quote, it says it's prorated and updated. What is that? I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't do any of these things.
All right, so,
it's prorated and updated.
okay, how about,
That's nice.
Right there, right at the bottom, nice handwriting.
let's go to, the good news, well, anyways, let's go to the summer concerts.
I think that bridge to the summer concerts is important.
Oh, this is, I think the first one's lighting, right?
Lighting, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
On your list.
yeah.
I think the bridge is,
So we only have the light, just the lighting, right?
And this is
No.
34,000?
We don't have the bridge, do we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so we have lighting for.
Don't we?
yeah, we
I
do.
believe
We
we
just
do.
don't have the amount on our sheet.
Yeah, we, at the last meeting, we discussed it, I think it was 30,000.
Right here.
And the phase one, to include the contingency, jumped to 39,100.
Okay, so Rory,
The lighting.
Lighting is how much?
What, say it again?
So the lighting, so what I have written down, this is from the last meeting, when we add in that contingency, that number went up to 39,100
so 39,
from
100
34.
for the lighting,
Yeah,
okay.
and then summer concerts phase two, we wrote in the amount of 30,000. I believe we were giving them more time to get quotes, which is why we didn't have anything written in for them.
Okay, so we're just doing lighting right now, right?
Right, let's do the
Okay.
lighting first.
Okay.
I thought she gave us a quote
I
for-
thought you did too, yeah.
with the 15% contingency is what I
I
remember.
think at the last meeting she might have, but it wasn't in the documents prior.
This
Understand.
estimate also included the present prevailing wage, which may increase by the time the project is implemented.
But do you have one for the,
34,000.
for the other
Yeah,
work
and I
too?
think when they were speaking to us at the meeting, if I have,
Restoration of, here we go, 26. It said, after consulting with excavating and contractors, estimated 26,000, but then I think we upped it to.
39-1.
the 39.
So that's the lighting though, right?
No, this is the,
You're around the bridge?
restoration entrance
Yeah,
to
that's
memorial.
phase two.
This is, yeah, this is the,
Okay,
yes,
so
With
that,
the
I thought that's what you were-
So-
No,
so-
lighting.
so Susan,
This is phase one.
this is.
we have that then. So we have 39-1 for the lighting,
For the lighting.
and that's, is that 26?
It says 26 on this, but I think
I don't know if that.
it did not include a contingency,
Okay,
I
so-
think.
The
So-
39-1 contains a 15% contingency.
Yes.
Okay, so the bridge work is like 26.
Right?
So let's
And-
worry about phase one, since we have phase one, that's what.
No, we're gonna both, so,
Well, it's two separate projects.
no, well, let's get the amounts straightened out first. So the bridge is 26, and if we add a 10%, that we might wanna add 20% contingency for that work. What do you think, Jeff?
26, you added 4,000 for the contingency, so they're asking for 30.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Just to keep it at
That's,
30.
that's what this said, that's what their proposal says.
okay, all right. So we have,
Yeah.
a total of 2 projects for the summer concerts, the lighting of 39-1, which includes a contingency and the work around the entrance, bridge, et al.
Right.
of 30,000, which also includes a contingency. So do you want to, should we vote on each separately
Yes.
or in total?
They're two separate proposals. I think
Okay,
they're
all right.
voted on separately.
So the lighting is 39-1. Anybody want to make a motion or any discussion on that first?
I mean, I think the lighting needs to be done, but I think if we're looking at it in terms of, I think we termed it phase 1 and 2 because they came back 2 separate times, and when they came in the original time, they weren't really sure how to go about it. And we spent a lot of time trying to help them figure out their projects, which I remember Steve saying, hey guys, let's get back on track. So I think,
did?
yes, you did,
No, I
right?
think it
We're not going to minutes.
was,
Not a
no.
second.
The wit,
That was
So
John,
I think
the
if
wit
we're
and
going to-
wisdom of
If
Steve
we're
White.
gonna go, if we're gonna look at this in
Same.
terms of
Let's go.
doing phase 1 and then you do phase 2, I
What's
think if,
phase 2?
so phase 2 is the bridge and the
I think
entrance
they're-
making it
they're-
bigger. I think if you're looking at priority, I think phase 2 is more important
I
than
think,
phase
yes.
1.
I think
We
they
all
both-
are agree.
I think they both are important.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Certain old people
let's do this. There's no one here that comes under that category of old people.
Me?
So,
child.
anyway, so who wants to make, anybody want to make a motion for the 39-1 for lighting?
I'll make a motion to approve the 39.
Okay, we have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So we got 7, that's a 7-4, and now we want to do the 30,000 for the related work around getting in and out of the
I'll make
space.
a motion to approve that.
I'll
Okay,
second that one.
All in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, good, perfect.
Right, so I think all that's left is pickleball.
Pickleball.
So I have a little bit of an issue with pickleball. I don't have an issue with it actually existing. I think pickleball has become extremely popular in town. My issue is where it is going in. The senior center at the time had no idea it was happening. They had no idea that this was even being proposed.
That's not true, that's not true.
Will I put it this way?
The
I
senior,
was
the
spoke to
senior
the senior
center is
center.
like, they were, I'm gonna abstain from the vote, by the way. Russ about it. But, the Abington Pickleball Association contacted the senior center, and there wasn't a lot of response in terms of them helping out either way. So it got the approval to go in there, and it's actually worked out well, so I disagree with your opinion on the senior center
That's
not
fine.
being,
Okay.
Well,
consulted.
I'd say, and this was a discussion, whether the senior center knew about it or not, and I'd say, I'd vote to move forward with that contingent, to put a contingency on this, that we receive a letter from the senior center saying that they're okay. And I'm sure they are,
Yeah.
No, that's,
But
I think
they
that's
also
a
weren't sure-
reasonable
unreasonable.
request.
I think they also weren't sure who was gonna pay for the electrical at the time. I think that was also mentioned in the discussion, was they were still waiting to figure that out. And
Well-
I don't know how much it's realistically gonna add to the electrical, because I don't know how often the
No,
light's
I
gonna
know,
be on and everything else
the
going forward.
pickleball
with that.
association would pay for the electrical, that's in there, that was part of their.
But I don't think there's a problem with us asking
Yeah,
for the,
maybe-
approving the
That's
money
my
contingent on a letter, because it is their facility, it is not the pickleball courts, pickleball club's facility, it is actually,
The town owns it.
the town
The
owns
town
it.
owns it, it's not
The
the,
t-
not the senior center, it's the town.
But-
In the winter, they go to the, no, what do you call it, the folio play
Yeah.
pickleball.
Yeah, it's fine,
Yeah.
but I don't think asking for a letter is a
Do we have lights
problem.
in
I think it's not a bad idea.
Should have built a curling court.
Because that's actually, we want to make sure we have permission from every department.
Well, yeah,
That's, I think.
It's a good idea.
I disagree with you, because the thing's already there, and whether they come back and said they're in favor of it or not, it's not their decision. Town owns the
Well, then do we
property.
ask the town manager with a copy to the senior center and get the town manager to write us a letter? I mean,
I mean, that
Because
would
they
be
don't
the-
own the land, I think that's where
But
this
they own,
is.
they own the land at every bit, one,
Town owns it.
dairy.
Town owns
They
it. No,
own-
no, the
Yeah.
town
We
owns it.
haven't gotten their approval.
You know, but
for it
Paul,
right,
now.
right.
Here's a private citizen, Peter's not a selected, he's just a private citizen saying, I wanna put lights up, but he
Is
doesn't
it-
have
is
any
there,
say.
is there any difference between, there's no difference between that and Riley Track?
Well, we've got authorization, in a sense, from Peter already, through the letter he wrote, from Peter Serino with the letter he wrote. Okay.
Well, he's supporting it, but the fact of the matter is
That's all we're
that
looking
the
for, is
town,
support.
Actually, is anybody grant? Is anybody grant that you can go do this? I mean, like the bridge at the,
we don't need it, well, it's,
well,
I mean,
wait, no,
ultimately-
here's the point, it's ultimately approved by town meeting, so the town ultimately votes on it.
So that's true, if we approve it, and.
Still has to-
and
yeah.
the
But it's
senior
really
center
nice to
has-
tell someone that you're doing something to their
Someone
facility and know
already
that there's a problem before.
So it says,
beforehand.
if I look at his original,
And we only
if I
get
look at his
hearsay.
original application,
Mhm.
he says, for number 5, when it says community support, he goes, no opposition, pickleball board has approved. And then if approved, we will go forward and speak to the senior center.
Correct.
Which I think then when he came back the
That's
second
fair.
time, I don't remember if he mentioned if he had spoken to everyone. But on his original application, he mentioned the pickleball board had said yes, no one opposed it, but they hadn't spoken to the senior
Okay,
center.
we'll do whatever you want, but I think the ultimate approval on anything is town
Oh,
meeting.
no, the
You're right.
town meeting
So,
determines
so
it, but.
I think it's kind of, we can do what you want,
I,
so,
no, I think
I don't
it's
think
good. I agree we should do the paperwork.
okay. So the,
Are the pickleball courts open to everybody? And the only
Yes.
reason
Yes.
Are they?
there is a membership or something.
Well-
there's a membership for fees to support the expense of it.
But
But I think
Does
it's if
that
you wanna
make it-
play in the league that they have.
Yeah, I think
it's
anyone
not,
can go down at any
anyone
time.
can
I
go down
think
and
yeah.
play.
anyone can go down and
I mean,
play.
I just, if this is a club, but we can't put in lighting for a club, do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
That, I just don't know if that's,
I think it's open to the town, as someone just said, they have leagues and they have certain nights that a group plays, and then you become a member of that group, which is actually.
I think you would treat it almost the same way you would look at the track, as in, the track is, there are certain times when the high school has a meet. Obviously, a random citizen
Oh,
can't go walk
okay.
on the track, but at the same time, I can go to the track right now and walk if I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Okay.
pickleball courts are open right now.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna close.
There's no nets, there's no
Might
nets.
be a
up.
little
Yeah.
icy.
Yeah.
they're playing at
Yeah,
the.
but it's a good point, though. I mean, during nights that the pickleball association isn't using the court,
Can I
can
use
a
it?
private citizen turn the lights on?
I think the lights will be on at a certain time period, no, I don't think so. Lights are on, will be on whatever the time
Monday
frame
through
is.
Friday.
You'd have to request it,
So if
like
you-
you'd have to request the lights on, you know what I mean? I can't think you can just go in and turn it on.
No, but, it might be more, I think what Paul's saying, Monday through Friday during the summer, they're on.
Yeah,
Right.
they're on from like.
It's kind of like the
8 to 9
basketball,
or
you would
something.
hope they would be like the basketball courts in
Right.
front of the
Yeah,
police
right,
station.
right,
That
yeah.
you can
Right.
go and
Yeah.
use them during, certain times.
Right.
The lights are on.
As long as it's public, I
Yeah.
have no problem.
Yeah, and,
Just- I just
the
heard
form,
something about a club and I'm like, oh.
right, and the form that we asked them to fill in, that they added the answer, it says in particular, which town boards, committees, departments, or community organizations have you consulted, collaborated with? So I think it's within our jurisdiction to ask, we would like to see a letter from the senior center supporting it. But that's it.
I can take.
Further discussion, or anybody want to make a motion? You
Yeah,
want
we're
to say
gonna
something?
do the
Motion
contingent
with
thing.
that contingency.
And I'll move forward, if people don't mind, and give Suzanne the Justburg a call and have her send us an email or
Yeah.
a letter.
That would be great.
One way or the other.
So I would like,
We're only approving it to go.
But
alright,
it's
so I would like to make a
40,000.
motion approving it contingent on us getting that letter from the senior center saying they know it's going in and they're in agreement with it and everything along those lines.
And just so everyone knows, the letter can be in the form of an email.
Should be in the form of an email.
The
And in
amount is
No.
40,000.
Well, and then you can.
With a
Does the-
contingency.
10%
Oh,
makes it 44.
They were
40.
gonna send us a letter, which they haven't done
Right.
yet, but the 44,000 is what we're approving,
I
right?
think, yes, I
Yes.
think that's the amount.
I think we're just
That's-
automatically building that contingency in
Yeah,
anyways.
which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so 44, subject to getting a
Authorization, a letter.
letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's good because it means on town meeting floor, you're not gonna get into an argument. I mean, you have to recognize when we get to town meeting that
Somebody stand up. and-
some, anybody can get
I think at a
up.
public meeting, it allows us to go, we've already spoken to the senior center, they know it's happening, like you
Yeah.
cut off.
Well, yeah, but we do go to the, we go with the selectmen and the finance committee, we give them a heads up as to what we've approved.
Yeah, I'm just saying at our public meeting,
Not,
people like to
and
argue.
we don't require, everybody argues, but we don't require their vote, or it's just a heads up, so, anyway, so.
Okay, so I make a motion.
Motion of 44 with a email or letter from the senior center that they were, I guess they're okay with it. So anybody want to second
Yeah,
it?
I'll
Yes.
second.
Vote in
Great.
favor?
Yes.
Okay, so we get 6 and I'm abstaining.
I was just reading about Ann Riley promoting the pickle courts. I just wanted to see what they said about it, because she's the head of the elderly services.
Yeah, she's part of the
And
board.
she,
of
and
that
she
board.
started the, she started the.
Yeah, they raised the money to build them
Right.
privately, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, so,
think it's
same as like,
coming
same as Raleigh.
So they'll be
Raleigh
back
Field.
next year looking to resurface it. They'll have 2 proposals.
So I think then if we.
So what is the yeah, did anyone do the math?
I can do it.
Right now.
With all the changes in amounts, what did we actually,
500,000, I think.
We're looking at 498, 236. But we also have to remember that that includes about a 10% contingency in all of them
yeah,
that we're
but
probably
that's-
gonna get.
Some of it
Back.
back, some of it back
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
yeah.
but we have to
But
know that.
And can I ask,
Jory, what'd you have?
500,000.
I had 498, 236.
I had 503, 125.
No,
how
okay.
many of the 5
Can you just double check that?
buckets did we?
So we're 21,000 for.
We met the open space and recreation bucket,
Oh.
no problem,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of recreation.
Touched
Yeah.
historical with 21,000 with the
Yeah,
Legion.
Griffin was
Because we should have that
75.
breakdown as well,
Yeah,
so we know how much more we have to put.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's necessary. I'm kidding.
yeah.
So open space we met.
We did not meet historical, we have something to add in, and then the only other area that we have to put at least 10% into is historical.
Yeah, I had 503,
Oh,
125.
because I didn't add the 10% on DPW.
So-
Okay,
Recreation,
so
was
that
it?
is, the correct amount is
So-
Open
Five-
space and
503.
recreation are
One.
one and the same.
503,
3, 125.
History, housing.
125 is
Yeah,
the,
so then we'd have,
3, 125.
What's the
all
other
right.
ones?
then we'll have.
Historical, housing, and open space /
Just 3?
just 3.
Okay.
So then we'll have like 435, or approximately 435,000 of money not spent.
But
And
again,
what we
that's
have to
not
find is
spent, but
what's
that's all the way into
allocated.
June
Yeah.
of 20.
So
right.
I do have, I have another question, this goes back to the budget.
So this takes care of this round, so the next group of stuff would be, we'll start the process next, when do we start, September, October?
September.
We
September.
start accepting applications.
Right, so, okay, yes.
So my other question then comes to, I know we put money away, and I know I want, like, I wanna know what's left. It's more of, so we put 10% away, that 10% doesn't, I almost wonder if that 10% doesn't come back into the budget, and then that number, we then keep putting it, like, I think that just comes back to me wanting to.
So here's the thing, so we'll come back, we should meet on the 24th, I would say. We'll have like an accounting, so what we'll need to do is to get the warrant ready, which would include these items, and then the allocation of what we're gonna put into the buckets,
Right.
whether it's 10%,
And
10%.
that's,
Can
we
we
have
do
one
the
from
warrant?
last year, right? I mean, that's what you did last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we do the warrant without, before the open meeting?
So we have to write, we have to write it up, and basically the open meeting is for if anyone has any
Yeah,
issue
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
to
So
discuss what
right.
we've already
So-
voted on.
So the process is that, so we've approved these, we'll have the open meeting to tell people what we've approved, and then it's going to town meeting for approval. So if like, if people come and think that they don't wanna do these projects, or they hate them, then they're one voice at town meeting, and ultimately,
Well, they
town
can
meeting
voice,
decides.
they can voice it to us
Sure.
at the open meeting too, and, you
Yeah.
know, somebody can convince us of something
Did people
as
come to
well.
last year's open meeting?
We had a few.
Yeah.
We had a few that were,
I
I
mean,
think,
realistically, a lot of times people don't make the effort.
I mean,
so-
realistically,
No.
it was the same people that came
That
forward to approve projects and
Yeah.
to, you know, justify why their projects were
But-
approved. And
The nice thing is, last year, we explained what the CPA was, we explained what we've done, you know,
It's new.
what, it's new, and so, you know, it will be on TV, so people can watch it at their leisure as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully, it will help us come up with new projects for next
Are we
year.
meeting
Right.
with the selectmen before the open meeting?
yeah, so we have we're on the agenda for March 14th for the FinCom, and,
Finance, 3/4,
yeah,
what date?
I think it's
14th?
March 14th, and
March
I'll send it,
14th?
March 14th, yeah, and I'll send an email out, it's either the 12th or 14th, I think it's the 14th, and then Dory's gonna get back to us with respect to what date we can go before the selectmen.
That's all we have to do.
so I think.
And we
that-
also have to do the warrants, we have to do like a letter for the, like a, updated letter for, article for the town book,
Mhm.
for what we did.
So I feel like since, according to what Kelly said with the open meeting, we have to post it in the paper for 2 consecutive weeks. I think we should pick the February date now,
Mhm.
so we can get that going
Mhm.
Yep.
I think so.
ASAP. Because especially if we've already basically decided to approve all of these projects going forward, then I'd like to at least get that date decided
Good.
today versus the 24th.
Good point. I'm away like the first couple of weeks.
I'm away the month of,
I mean, it's just an article in the paper that we can ask to be ran
Yeah.
over, and like an announcement, just run over and over.
And, you know, the point of the open meeting, when I went back to our plan, is also to hear what people think about what we should be doing next. You know, in general, like, you know,
What
You
they
know,
think is important.
what's important to them, and, you know, what should our goals, you know, we should probably take a look at that plan and revise it after we've gotten through this town meeting thing, to make sure that we are, reading our plan and, you know, does it make sense? Is this what we really wanna do? And we may want input from some of the departments.
So you wanna do
Like-
it, as far as that's a good point. We should get, we should ask housing and historical and other people to come and
I've asked
give us an
them.
idea of,
Should we go meet them? Would it-
No, they don't, they have enough money.
Can
right
I,
now.
just a
They're
comment,
doing their project.
kind of associated with that.
Yes.
On the AEF, for years, first few years, we had the same people coming looking for grants. And it took a couple of years for the other people to see, well, why are they getting all this money, type of thing. Certain schools just, you couldn't get them to come to
Mhm.
put a grant in. Over time, it did level out, but
right, that's a good point. So this should start to pick up momentum as people see what we're doing. You know, like the article that was in the Mariner a few weeks ago, that was, you know, good information for the town. and stuff like
especially
that.
if you go back to or we all go back to our boards and say, look what was funded. you
Right.
know, And we got nothing.
Mhm.
We did, we got 10%.
Oh, you did, yeah. Enjoy that.
Yeah, but we haven't spent it, you haven't spent it yet.
No,
No.
because the
Right.
state is making us spend what we have. We have too much money, and we have to spend down for whether they're going to take it.
How much money do you have?
I don't know. We're on camera.
Loss of memory.
I don't
convenient.
remember.
She doesn't have the figures in front of her.
No, I don't.
So anyway,
So
so
we're
it's-
doing
your
that, they're
report has
putting
to be
new
on the
roofs
23rd.
on Levitt
23rd
and
March.
the other
Yeah.
one. New
I thought it was
roofs, they need
February.
No,
them.
February, we have to have everything done and
No, that's just the,
submitted.
that's just the report for the town report.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a summary from the town report. You could probably, did we write one for last year?
we did, yeah, sure we
So you
did.
can probably just,
We'll have
mark
Michelle
it up.
update that.
The article has 90% of what needs to be said, other than just the grants, the article that Michelle wrote.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah, the article's great, so you
But
can
our
steal.
meeting has to be in front of that meeting, I mean, it's either the 14th or the.
No, I
We
think
can
that-
just let Paul write it, I mean.
Michelle can write it,
Yeah.
so people can read it. So anyways, so the article, whatever, the report has to be for the, I guess if it's the 23rd, February 23rd, but
And then the article has a different,
article
draft
is
article.
like,
I'm
I think
sorry,
the end of
Did
March,
you
I
pick a
think.
date
trying
for
to
the
get
open
a
meeting?
meeting.
No,
So
how
the
about,
meeting, the
how about
7th?
like the 28th, February 28th?
Through 28?
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Fine.
What day of the week?
That's
is
a
that?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
So
That's
it's
fine.
Wednesday.
Okay, so February 28th is our,
and the holiday's the week before, right? So
Um,
you don't get vacation leave
yeah,
for
right,
everybody.
yep.
Okay, good.
That would
Let's
be
see,
nice.
CPA.
President's Day is the 19th.
Yes,
Public
we-
hearing. So, Kelly, will you, we have to do it a couple weeks ahead of time? Can you do it before then?
The,
So if we're doing the 20th, can we ask them to
Yes.
run it
yes.
the 7th, the 14th, the 20th, just run it the three consecutive weeks?
Well,
before?
it would have to go out the 14th, the 21st, and then the 28th would be the meeting.
Yeah.
So I can just take what was written last year, if that's okay with everyone.
Mhm.
change the
We're
date
talking
down.
about the notice for the public hearing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. And Justin, I told, he said if I send him the date, he would put it on cable too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we can send him the notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you do that? Send
Yes.
him the notice?
Just a suggestion, I don't know if it's a good idea. Is it a good idea to list the projects that are up for approval?
We'll talk about it, I think, we'll have something.
I mean to list them onto cable.
I think we can just talk about it when, the night of
That'd
the
get us a
hearing.
lot of people.
I don't
All
know.
right, no, I don't know, I
Probably a
don't
good
know.
idea, I don't know.
I think because they aren't,
Good,
I
bad,
think
or-
because they aren't approved, they're only approved by us, they aren't officially approved as going to happen.
Mhm.
I don't know that we need to put them on cable, I think if the
No,
town
I'm
meeting
not
voted.
saying we need to, I
Yeah.
just don't
Yeah.
know.
They'll have been in front of FinCom and they'll be in front of
Yeah.
the selectmen.
Mhm.
So-
But
So we'll have a
the
few
night of-
chances.
It'll be on TV at the selectmen's meeting.
Okay,
I think though that the
That's
night,
good.
night we have the public hearing,
Yeah.
we can tell people
and it's
the
televised,
projects that we
so-
did last year and the ones that this committee has approved, subject to town meeting approval, the ones we're recommending for approval.
Yeah, basically everything.
Right, right,
That makes
so,
sense.
okay.
Sometimes I think with my mouth wide open.
Well, that was a good,
Guilty.
The best thought.
good thought.
God knows I didn't get it.
Okay.
Get heard.
So, 28th, 7 PM. I just put that in my electronic calendar, 28th, so we are all set. Let's see what else we have to do. I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay. Open discussion. Anybody want to talk about anything?
So I think first, if we've already decided the projects and all that, so do we need to have a meeting on the 24th? Is the 24th to write the warrant?
I think that's, I would say when we meet the 24th, just to go through the accounting.
Okay.
The
That makes sense.
accounting and the warrant article, maybe. We
Okay.
could probably draft that up too,
Yeah.
right?
Do we have a template, or is that?
We can use last year's.
Last year's, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Who's gonna do that, Paul? Is that what you're gonna do, or is Kelly?
I'll pull it out, the last year's one and do like a draft of something for, you put in the projects.
Yeah.
And then we can
Yeah.
collectively determine the buckets, et cetera.
Yeah,
So we have to know what we didn't spend for a certain road, so we
Yeah.
give them
We
the
can do the
balance.
correct balance for the different, and it'd be good to have that number, so that way
Mhm.
at the open meeting, we can also mention that. So
It's
like for
important.
historical, we can say, we only approved 21,000, 10% was this much, so this much is going into the fund for next year, and vice versa.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anything else to discuss?
No, I think-
Anyone make the motion,
Motion
make
to
the motion to
adjourn.
adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Just shut
And
that.
don't forget on the budget that we're gonna need to include our administrative costs. We're gonna have to
paid to the state,
we paid
whatever that amount.
Yeah, but I don't think we weren't paying for our admin at that point, and I think we are now, so.
Yes, yes.
So we need to make sure we have that as a line item. Paul, when we do the budget for the,
Go back in the past.
oh, he's still doing something.
That's good, because now